Hello, people. The name of the song is Change Your Mind, and the artist is Bruce Coburn. It's my theme song for this series, Father to Son. In my earlier non-video audio presentations, I made the statement that this particular series was a non-video audio presentation. So I have my music and my screensaver running here for you to zog out on if you wish, but the purpose of these presentations is chiefly audio, and they are being made in the hopes that my son actually hears what I have to say. A little bit of background information. My son disowned me. My son disowned me, and to use his terminology, for no good reason. He really did not have a good reason to disown me, and except that he thinks he's more righteous, I suppose, than I am, more deserving, more worthy, and I am not worth associating with. Now, it's a far reach to go online, on the internet, in the hopes that one's son might listen to what the father has to say about this and many other things. But perhaps there is a son out there that feels much like my son, or a son out there that needs to hear what I have to say. And while I was in the shower, that's when I got the idea, hey, wait a moment, maybe there's someone out there that could benefit from your words. Now, I've said it before, I love my son. I love my son dearly. And I really think that he is a victim of a very messed up society, that he is a victim a very messed up mainstream programming, and that he is a victim of many common maladies or whatever have you that are typical of people today, typical even of myself. And I'd just like to say that as men, we need to get a real grip on our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. We need to assume accountability and responsibility for those three: thoughts, feelings, and actions, because this is why we are having so many problems in our society today, why we are having so many problems in our relationships today, whether they be marital relationships or familial, like father-son, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, or father-daughter, whatever have you, work relationships, because people don't want to take responsibility for their own thoughts and their own feelings and their own actions. Consequently, they are in denial. I didn't come with this presentation to put myself in such a wonderful light. This is not something I'm proud of. This is, I don't go on and on Facebook about this problem, and or any of my other forums about this problem, but I'm making this sacrifice in hope that even if my son never watches these or cares, that some young man, and when I say young man, I mean anyone from the age 12 to under 40. By the time you're 40, you better have it put together. You better have it put together enough to know that being a man is being accountable for your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. And I'll tell you, the sooner you learn this lesson, the rest is gravy. You will definitely learn to excel in your life if you apply these truths to your life. But I know from whence I speak. I went through that, school of hard knocks, so to speak. And I can tell you most assuredly that there is no escaping your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own actions. And living in denial of those things will not make you one iota better as a person. And a lot of us are really in denial. And I guess for me, this is very therapeutical because I'm working through my own problems of denial by, going right out on the internet, exposing myself, I suppose could be another term. They're my thoughts, and these are my feelings on the matter, and these are my actions that I'm taking right here, putting this on the internet because it's about me. This is my presentation, this is my creation, and the truth is, whether or not my son has any compassion left in his being, or if it's being completely consumed by his sacrifices to Satan, that's his end of it. That's not my end of it. And trust me, viewer, we've all made our sacrifices to Satan, whether we want to admit it or not. Whether we live godly lives now, or whether we are still living ungodly lives, or if that's behind us, it's the past. Even in our past, we have made our sacrifices, maybe knowingly or unknowingly. But you see, that does not excuse us. I'm reminded of a scripture that says, "Thou art inexcusable, O man, who judgest." Okay, and this is what has happened. My son has judged me. Now, if you've got issues with your father right now, I'd just like to make some points here. If your father was not the sort of man who consistently beat on you and caused you to bleed, okay, I'm not talking about maybe an accident where, I don't know, let's say you're having an argument or something, and he was angry, and I'm making this up, threw something at the wall, and it bounced off the wall and hit you. Okay, I'm not talking about something stupid like that, something retarded like that, and then he feels terribly sorry and apologizes or something. I want to eliminate those sorts of variables. I mean a father, comes at you with his fists and starts beating on you, pummeling you, beating you up. Unless you've had that kind of a father, all right, okay, abused you, physically abused you, okay, willfully abused you, or a father, because, man, I just read something here on the internet that just made me sick, but there are fathers, well, I wouldn't call them fathers myself, but sexually abuse their own children. look, I'm just going to leave that alone, okay? Like, because that really brings up a lot of emotions in me, and they're not good, you know. God have mercy on that man. He needs the Lord, you know, to molest your own child. I mean, it's bad enough to molest any child, but, you know, your own flesh and blood. Anyway, there I am talking about it, you know, and seriously, you know, I mean, I'm trying to talk, unless you've had a really bad dad, you know what I'm saying? A dad who did that kind of stuff, you know, or a dad who just didn't really care about you at all. Like, just drank the family paycheck away in the bar, you know, never paid the rent, you know, a day in his life, never ever worked a day in his life, you know, was always in jail. Okay, I'm not talking about that kind of father, all right? From the day that I became a father, I never saw the inside of a jail cell. And I'm telling you, I did not come from you know, ivory tower lifestyle. When I was a young man, I spent some time on the streets. I won't say I've never seen the inside of a jail cell. I certainly have. But when I, you know, knuckled down and came to, and took responsibility for my own thoughts and my own feelings and my own actions, and I got myself what I thought to be a good wife, and married her, you know, and that sort of thing. Of course, no, jail was not my choice, you know. I pulled up my socks. I started taking, you know, responsibility for my thoughts, my feelings, and yes, my actions. And instead of blaming the world for my problems, I resolved to make a difference. Now that's what being a man is, okay? Instead of pointing the finger at everyone else for your problems, you know, you take action and you make a positive, constructive, productive difference in your life. And I did do that. Now, was I that 100% pure all the way every day? No. Some days, you know, were tougher than others. Some years were tougher than others. Some months were tougher than others. But I kept at it, and I kept at it, and I kept at it, and I kept at it. Now, people have different standards of judging people, okay? Some people judge people financially and materially. Other people judge people, you know, a little more philosophically. You know, the old thing, you can tell the men from the boys by the price of their toys, this sort of thing, you know, that only holds water to an extent. Now others would disagree with me, you know, well, fine, they're entitled to. They have a lot to learn, okay, because things fall apart, break down, rust, you know. Here, I'm going to say, you know, I paid a horrible sacrifice to learn my lessons. Your health is more important than all that stuff. Your health, I'm telling you, if you want to place a value on something, your health, because I lost my health, and I am struggling now to regain my health. And I'm telling you, you know, if you want something to value your health. Value your health. Okay, all right. I guess we've got that much established. My health began to fail in 1999, and I struggled hard to try to keep it, but I was losing it. And I saw a doctor. I was getting very serious migraine headaches. And, you know, I'm not really going to air out these problems in public, okay? They're mine, they're personal. But I had some medical problems, okay? And I don't really have to, you know, tell everybody what my medical problems were, okay? I had to go in for an MRI, and they found something. And I also had some other tests run on me, and they found something. And I had some other tests run on me, and they found something. And so, you know, I don't really want to go in for any more tests. I've gotten second opinions and things like that. And it looks like all the data corroborates, and I have some medical problems. All right. Not fatal, okay, but yeah, they're going to need some tending to, yeah, I might need a couple of operations. Okay, that aside, I just want to say that I started looking at things that maybe other things I could do, for a living. And in 2001, I discovered more of the world of computing online, and I became a systems operator for Microsoft Gaming Zone, and I worked at it till I got to level 4, and then discovered that level 5 is when they started paying you. But in order to do that, I would have to move to Chicago. And I didn't feel at the time to uproot my family up here in the northern wilderness of Alberta and move to Chicago. It just did not seem like a very equitable thing for me to do. Given the fact that I had already managed to attain 22 acres of land up this way, undeveloped at the time, and you see, this is the thing. I was gearing for a better life for my family. And I guess my son was probably maybe around, I don't know, 12, 13 at that time. I'm not exactly sure how old he was in 2002, but somewhere around there, close to that, 12, 13. I just I struggled with the knowledge that I would never have the strength or the stamina that I used to have, and or the health that I once had. And yes, part of that is my fault. I should have taken better care of myself. At some point there in that 3-year course at 2002, 2003, 2004, my son grew to despise me because medically I was not expected to work. And I guess when that happens, well, you're supposed to hate your dad. I don't know, I'm going to tell you, listeners out there, if you have a father that hit the wall, but used to really do what he could to be a good father, and you're hating on him for this, you're setting yourself up for a real serious set of consequences in your life, some real bad karma, if you will. The last thing your father needs is for you to hate him, okay? It may take him years before he gets his health back, if he ever gets his health back. But there are some things you need to realize. Your father believed that it was important for you to live. Your father believed that it was important enough for him to be around instead of, in the bar drinking, in a jail cell, or beating the life out of you, or beating the life out of your mother. Your father thought you were important enough and did what he could to be a good father to you. And if you think you've got to disown him now because of some choices he made in his struggle to continue living, then you are the one at fault. You are far less a person and far less a man than he was. You need to patch it up. You need to fix it, because you don't want to let that go to the grave. And I'm telling you, this is just the scratch of the surface. Whoever you are, if you actually got this far and you're actually listening to this, you need to patch it up. You need to fix it. Your father is human. He's a human being, and he may not always make the right decisions, but he made some right decisions, and for that you should honor him. It's a real grievous thing to dishonor your father. It's a very grievous thing to dishonor your father. You are his seed. You know, there's nothing you can do to change that. You can hand him your mother's divorce papers all you want. You can hand him your divorce papers all you want. You can go and get a change of name, but guess what? You will not change the fact that you are your father's seed and your father's blood courses through your veins, and there's nothing you can do to change that. I can understand why some people change their names. Okay, I can understand why some people do that. But, I talked about those bad dads already. Okay, but cursing your family is not an answer. All it will do is bring a curse on your own head. Please, I don't care who you are, listen to this. There are not very many fathers. Okay, I know what it looks like on the outside. I know lots of times it'll look like, there's good dads taking care of their kids and all that on the outside. But the inside story is different. And I understand there's lots of things that look all rosy, but they're really not. I understand all of that sort of thing. But if you're having a problem with your dad now, and he's the kind of dad that did not beat the crap out of you and didn't do those horrible things I mentioned, then I would say you take issue with your issue and you deal with your issue, because it's your issue. And hurting your own dad like that is not righteous. It's not righteous. I don't care if he went off and married another woman because your mom dumped him because of his medical problem. You should be there for him. He was there for you. You should be a man. Man up. Man up. I guess that's pretty much the end of the message here on this one. Man up. You've got a good dad, and they're getting rare. Be glad you had a father who cared enough to try to make a difference in your life. Man up. Man up.